Not necessarily.
Ooh. Okay. Interesting map.
Yeah, this is the Bretonian outskirts here, guys. It is the Bretonian outskirts.
What the fuck? Oh, that's cool.
All right, all right. Yeah, okay. So what do we have here for Army Red then, man? What do we? Jesus
Also,
Christ! Yeah, this is a hell of a map. What do we have for Army Red?
Back left of Muukip, like that weird structure. Anyway, for Army Red, we have 2 units of Hawk Riders, as well as a Lore of Life caster with her lovely heals, which is, and also a Scroll of Power. So we got Life Bloom, of course, and the Earth Blood. We have 1, 2, 3 units of Wildwood Rangers. 2 of them have 1 pip of Veterancy. We have 1 unit of Sisters of the Thorn. These people actually have magical skills they can use after a little bit of time, and they are Javelin Cav. But they only have 30 troops, so they're pretty small. We have 1 unit of Wildwood Rangers. We have over here, not 1 but 2 units of the regular War Dancers. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 units of Eternal Guard with their spears, no shields. 1 unit of Wild Riders, and leading it off is a male Glade Lord with the AoE buff. We never see that. No.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially we don't see them very often on the likes of the Eagle, because the Eagle does tend to shaft them to a certain extent here, where their combat ability is concerned. But hey, we'll see how that male goes. In the meantime, here on the other side, we've got a... Oh, dude, Matthew McConaughey is all right, though, man. I can dig that. So we have a Empire army in blue. It's going to be led by Muukip. Muukip is going to be bringing 2 flagellants out here in the front, a cavalry force consisting of 2 units of knights. Oh, actually 4 units of Knights of the Blazing Sun, 2 on either flank here. 1 unit of Knights of the Blazing Sun will be led by that pretty little man, the Arc Lector here. What a beautifully shaved head he has. And he is going to be bringing what, as far as his abilities are concerned? He will have a Benediction, Grand Hammer of Sigmar, as well as the Grand Shield of Faith. Now, the rest of the foot troops here for our Empire army will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units of swordsmen, 3 missile infantry here. 1 of them are the Silver Bullets, 2 of them are the crossbowmen, and last but not least, guys, just for a little extra points, he has a Spearman. I almost forgot, by the way, cannot forget the other units of Knights of the Blazing Sun. The ones that are not being accompanied by that Arc Lector are being accompanied by a Jade Wizard. He's just on a regular old pony, a good-looking pony at that, and he's got Earth Blood and Awakening of the Wood as his spell choices.
Indeed. So it looks like the Empire has the missile advantage, although on the other side, the Elves, they have flying and harassing missiles. So we can obviously tell this guy loves to kite, loves to do that lovely stuff, and...
Yep. Also, as a note, Sir X, he's got Curse of Anger here on those on the Sisters of Thorn, so that will allow him to slow down his enemy even further when it comes down to those, those tight
Here comes the Cav going over
battles.
the little shallows, getting shot up a little bit. He's trying to shoot down the Jade Wizard, which is a good target, but he's getting pretty well protected. Ooh, but the Glade Lord actually can still snipe him.
Yeah, he's still doing a little bit of damage. The Jade Wizard is not totally unharmed. Where is this Jade Wizard going? Somebody help this man. All right, he just tried to, I guess, juke some of those arrows coming down, and he juked relatively successfully there. We will have the Arc Lector as well as the Knights of the Blazing Sun come to accompany this forward cavalry contingent here, and we're probably going to get a battle, Sir X, I would imagine,
also, check
here.
Check
so,
these guys. These guys go all the way around. That's either going to be really good or they're going to be wasted. I'm not quite sure.
We'll see. It looks like it's going to take their sweet time to go over there. So, Sir X here, look at this positioning that we're seeing coming out of both players. Where do you think the fight's going to be, and how do you think it's going to be advantageous for one player over the other?
If he can get his archers over here, like I guess he's trying to move his cav around, but I have no idea what the other player's doing, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's, I mean, it looks like the Cav are going to come around the side and pretty much untouched. This is the way that it looks like it's going to go, at least in this beginning part. They are going to get a couple arrows down on them, but honestly, these Hawk Riders can't do that much damage to the amount of armor that these guys are toting.
Coming right back. So the Empire needs to strike now while the hammer is hot. But instead, he's slowing down over here. Look at this, they're clumping up. He's having a hard time walking through that water.
Yeah, that's interesting. Why is that? It looks like, oh, I guess they just had to form themselves up. My god, my kingdom for a hell cannon, man. Oh, gee, or a sunmaker? Holy shit, that shoved me up right quick, man. Holy shit, that feels good.
Over here, the knights are getting a little bit too ballsy and charging some spears.
Prepare for combat.
Yeah, we do know, so the combat has started out here. Some of these Knights of the Blazing Sun actually getting not a bad hit here on those War Dancers. Of course, the War Dancers will be buffed up with that Earthquake up a little bit longer.
Pretty dire because he's popping the Shield of Thorns on their cap.
That is certainly going to help those Wild Riders out here, but we also see the Knights of the Blazing Sun are regenning their health, and they haven't broken just yet.
He's using his entire melee force against these cav. And these cav are great in cavalry, but again, like, against your opponent's spear line uphill, I don't like that at all.
Yeah, so what scares me as well about this particular engagement here, Sir X, is the fact that now that these cav have been weakened by those melee infantry, these Hawk Riders, as well as that Glade Lord, can come down and kill that Light Wizard without fearing that much punishment. The Arc Lector, by the way, is gonna get... Oh, he's going to get wrapped up here, guys. Look at how many people are around here. Now the Knights of the Blazing Sun are forced to charge into those braced spears to help that Arc Lector out.
He's using these 3 units over here that are trying to hold off his entire army. He should really be sending some troops around here. And that Arc Lector is taking a couple hits, but he's still high health.
Yeah, he's got high health, man, but he's going to have to get out of there. And the Hawk Riders can almost indefinitely make sure that he can't get back to his main lines as long as they're active and continually cycle charging and making sure that he has to move through a bunch of large units. It does look like most of that Knights of the Blazing Sun, the cavalry contingent of our Empire players' army, has been basically down here.
So he lost his cav, but he did weaken the enemy army considerably. He may have lost his utility, but
yes,
I think he traded that decently. Like, if these guys can do work over here, and like if he can pick them off piecemeal, I won't count the Empire out of this.
I think that you're quite right here, man. And we got to remember, too, that, you know, these Hawk Riders, they're not the most useful units against the likes of these swordsmen, right? These swordsmen will definitely eat those Hawk Riders up. And the swordsmen will also do not all that bad against the likes of the spearmen, what's left of the spearmen here that Daman has. The question is, I think, Sir X, will these Wildwood Rangers be able to succeed? Now they have that Shield of Thorns on them, so they have missile resistance as well as weapon damage. And you know as well as I, Wildwood Rangers are an incredibly potent.
But he's actually looking for a nice sweep around if he can engage them quickly enough. But it looks like he's going to have his cav block that flank. But again, these Wildwood Rangers, I foresee them getting a ton of kills, but I don't know if they'll be able to trade costs effectively.
Yeah, and here they go. They're going to continue to get shot up here. We do have that Jade Wizard getting increasingly in an increasingly dire position here. We do have the Glade Lord coming down, and the Jade Wizard will likely die. Hawks in the back have come down instead, looking like they're going to try to take these crossbowmen out, but of course the Hawks in the woods, crossbowmen in the woods, nobody's really getting an advantage there. But we do have the Arc Lector engaged in the Hawks, and the Hawks will not like that particular engagement.
And it looks like because of the Hawk flying around, looks like these swordsmen that were fighting you guys before are looking pretty bad. And those Sisters of Thorn are getting stuck in that fight of their magical blue stags.
And you know, despite the weakening, despite the fact that there's very little here for our Wood Elf player, you see that every one of these fights is being won by the Wood Elves, despite the fact that almost the entirety of this Empire army came over here. I think it's because the Knights of the Blazing Sun were worth a lot of money, and these swordsmen needed to be supported by a Jade Wizard. It not being here really
also, those 3 ranged units are doing nothing because they're just stuck in the forest and with bad shots, and that is game.
Absolutely. That is a game that Daman with a very easy win, and I think Daman played that map perfectly, man. He played incredibly well on that map, again, showing that he's a very fine player indeed. Even on an unfamiliar map like the one that we saw here, he divided his forces up perfectly, knows he only needs a couple guys to hold off most of the Empire forces in that choke point, especially knowing that they have swordsmen. He's got to kill those Knights of the Blazing Sun first, and he does that. He isolates them behind his own forces, takes all of his spearmen, charges them downhill, and what can Muukip do but watch them die one by one?
Alrighty, yeah, look at those beautiful kills on those Knights of the Blazing Sun. 2 of them did very well. They could have, like... the other 2 just got wrecked. I don't know. I feel like if he had traded a little bit better and, like, maybe wrecked, like, almost completely destroyed that half, he would have done better. But even with that, those Hawk Riders in the end just took care of those ranged.
Yeah, and the fact was too is he really didn't need his the Knights of the Blazing Sun. Like, you mentioned they had weakened the enemy army, but it's an odd thing, right? When you take your cavalry and smash them into spears. I understand that you're behind your enemy and you're very fast and you got some very cool looking lances and you want to use them, but my god, just hold on a little bit, guys. If you're going to charge spears, at least charge into the rear. Muukip, though, I mean, Muukip, you know, he went for the risk here, and I think maybe the unfamiliarity of the terrain is what may have killed him. Couldn't pull his cavalry back fast enough into a safe position.
He also maybe
we'll
got
see how the next map goes.
because you see two of your heroes in that fight, and you're like, oh, I can do it. But again, they just... bad positioning.
Yeah, bad positioning, man.